Oh, okay, there we go. We're going live now.
And this is our group review for Shadow Generations, one of the best Sonic games to ever come out.
No.
Okay,
We're not even about to lie to you people. I'm so sorry for y'all to have to watch this film. If y'all seen this film, I very apologize.
Jake, all dark characters aren't the same, man. All right, you know?
Yeah, some are better than others. Okay, that's.
Also, you're joking. The Black Doom still has a little bit of symbiote stuff in there. I'm just saying, it's a little bit in there. The way he makes wings and stuff, that's definitely Venom. I'm just saying.
That is true.
Oh boy, what communicates left to
Venom? What we
Venom?
got so far. So.
Yep.
But hi guys, we are the Phanatics, and we do the news and reviews of the week. And today on this special day, we will be reviewing, unfortunately, Venom: The Last Dance. You are here live with.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for you people.
We are here live with me, Jake Tylenol. Currently a Shadow Warrior. We'll go with that. I don't really have respect for this movie, so it doesn't get a cool title.
Gotcha. Well, okay. You're also here with me, Cryptid Seeker 415, looking to go on an all Venom diet after this.
Yeah.
Austin, I'm not even saying bring you all the time. It's just Austin. There's no excitement here, okay? There's nothing good here.
Yeah.
I was a huge Venom fan. I think I hate Venom now. This movie pissed me off.
Oh God! All right.
For long-time fans of us, you will know that we did that intro backwards, but that's how little we care.
Gotcha. And for what it's
worth,
you
usually do movies first.
For what it's worth, audience, follow us on our socials at Comic Fanatic 69 at Twitter-X or whatever it's calling itself nowadays. So.
Or don't, Clark. You don't owe this world a thing, but seriously do.
Alright, so first of all, spoilers.
Oh. There will be spoilers. This movie does not deserve the respect of a non-spoiler review, in my opinion.
Oh. Of all the days for Austin to be having technical issues, you know?
Well, yeah, but, we can get started while we're waiting for him to get on back.
StreamYard cannot contain Austin's anger at this film, audience.
I guess while we're waiting, and should I go or should you go? What do you want to do?
Yeah, you should go, man. Go ahead.
Okay. For long-time viewers of the channel, I am all about giving movies a fair shot. I feel like as a story creator myself and training, that it's only right to give other studios a chance, regardless of the controversies outside the movie. All that matters at the end of the day is when you put pen to paper and what I see on screen. And so I've given this trilogy 3 chances, okay? More than it really deserved. And it has failed. It has somehow gotten worse.
Wow.
Every film is level. For those who don't know, I hated the first Venom film. I thought the second one was entertaining. It might have just caught me on a day where I really just needed something dumb to laugh at. But I thought the second film was, despite being equally terrible, if not worse in some ways, I thought it was just an entertaining film. Okay, and that's all I could ask. And so at least for this one, I was like, you know what, this might be stupid, but it's Venom. But at least just be dumb and entertaining. Hello.
Yeah, we hear you, Austin.
You're back. My phone restarted, but I'm not gonna cut out. Don't worry.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So for the third one, I was like, you know what, at least just be dumb, entertaining like the second one, and it couldn't even do that. I think this movie's major, I guess it has a million problems really to start. But I think the thing that keeps it from being like the second movie was I found the banter between Eddie and Venom really entertaining. The scene where they quote unquote, they actually do break up was like an entertaining thing. Seeing Venom, one of the things I actually liked about the Venom is, even though the first movie kind of rushed it, is how much he is willing to ingratiate himself into the world of humanity, because he does find it entertaining and loves it. I don't know what was wrong with his planet, but that movie doesn't give us that detail. But I did find their banter entertaining. Even the final fight was just a fun time. And this one though, they're just saying the same shit they argued about in the second movie. It's still them being like, And he's like, well, I don't want to kill him. Venom's like, well, I want to be a hero. And then when something serious happens, Venom's like, oh, I don't want to fight this guy. This guy scares me. And like the villain in this movie isn't even interesting. It's not even a villain. It's a fucking henchman for the main. It's not even like Infinity War. Like it's not even like if they did Infinity War with the Black Order. No, it's just like the guy that works for the Black Order shows up. And it's not even a guy. It's a monster. It's not.
Imagine the little army in the beginning, at the end of Infinity War, was the main villain of Infinity War.
Right.
Just throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't get any cool moments. It fights like 3 times. The first time it shows up, and then it's like, oh shit. And then like it's already beaten in like 30 seconds. And I'm like, huh? That was the guy? And there's so many other problems with this movie that we'll get into as time goes on. But it was like I just couldn't believe that after 3 movies, like it's not even better than the first one. It couldn't even beat that. But that's just me.
Well, box office wise, seems to agree with you, Jake. So yeah. All right. Well, with that, Austin, you want to give your thoughts, man? Unless Jake has something else to say. Okay, Austin.
I hated this movie. I want you to know, I was going to be lenient on the film. I even told Jake it was boring, but I was letting it go towards the end of the movie. I watched it with him. But after I got off, and it's been 2 days since we saw this film, everybody I talked to, whether on Twitter, in real life, on TikTok, is trying to tell me, who own every issue of Donny Cates' Venom, the hardcover and the singles, every event that he was involved in, that I don't understand the movie and I don't like it because I don't read the comics.
Oh my god! Wow.
They tried. I had to make a video response on TikTok somewhere, showing that I own all this shit, for them to be like, "Oh, maybe you do," but I don't want to tell you don't like the comics. Look, I think Quick did always also say this before. I think we all here like comic accuracy when it's done well. You don't just bring something from a comic just to do so. And this movie does that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Just because something is from the comics doesn't automatically make it good. Unless people forgot, this is an adaptation. It still has to stand on its own as a film. Unless they say it's specifically for the fans.
Mm-hmm. At one point, like back in the early 2000s, when you had like something that says, "Oh, that was from the comics." Oh, wow, that's great. That's interesting. But nowadays, that doesn't fly anymore. It doesn't have.
Yeah, the days of oh, we're just lucky to have it is like over. We have Marvel movies, Batman films, Superman, like DC films.
It's a
not
buffet.
a novelty.
It's a buffet. Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's so much stuff here that was dropped from the last film that it's fucking mind-boggling. And people just expect you to let it go and be fine with it. Can you imagine if they set up Thanos and then they just never talked about him again? To be fair, everybody did the King, to be fair. But that's basically what happened here. At least that it felt like. You can't cry about, oh, this comic actress was great, but then watch them drop the most comic actress things they had. They set up Toxin, which is probably the 4th biggest symbiote ever behind Anti-Venom. It's like Venom, Carnage, Anti-Venom, Toxin. They set up the whole last film, and then at the beginning of this movie, they just tell you, oh, this symbiote left him, and we kind of just gave him another one, so he didn't die. So Toxin's just out there and just never talked about it, never shows up.
Wow.
But I'll talk about that later when we get into that.
Gotcha. I just want to read a comment from our comment sections from our old buddy Tony. This movie was basura. Okay. Yep. We are all in agreement.
Tony, okay.
Yep. We're all in agreement, man. Any more of your opening thoughts, Austin?
There's just so much wrong. The biggest thing in this movie is that it's boring. The first hour and a half, the first hour feels pointless, and then they spend the middle part of this film wasting it for something that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter and gets negated because it doesn't matter at all. So
Mm-hmm.
it's towards him. That's all I'm saying. I'll let you go
I mean,
until we
did
actually
you
talk
know?
about
Yeah, did you know it's like the after credit scene of this movie was just recycled from from a previous after credit scene, almost like scene for scene, man. Like, we'll get
Oh
to it
yeah,
when we
from the
get to it.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I
But
noticed.
yeah, okay. So yeah, well, now let me get my thoughts, audience. Um, I didn't like the first two Venom movies. They were just again early 2000s sort of quality movies. I mean, just to this day, it amazes me that the first Venom movie scored as much as it did. Then following the second movie, it significantly had a drop in quality box office wise, and I'm imagining this third film is just going to continue that train. At going to the point of Austin making about like this film being boring. I gotta be honest, like early on I kind of dozed off a bit. I think it was the scene where the military people had what's his name, that police officer
I don't
from
even
the
know.
Patrick
second film.
McGowan. Patrick. It's
Y-
Patrick.
Patrick
I only
Patrick
know
and he
because he's toxic for the comics. That's the only reason I know.
okay. Oh, okay, Toxin. Or yep. So I dozed off at there to the point where, but I did wake up when we got to LA. So I don't feel like I really missed much of anything. If anything, like probably like, the parts I
Nope.
did miss was just superficial. Like, hey, Venom Horse. Hey, more goo action. This and that. And yeah, if it wasn't for this podcast audience, like the Joker, I wouldn't have gone to watch this movie. And I feel like a lot of people are going to have that same sentiment. Let's see. Tony is saying it's a step above Joker. Fool doo doo. So I give it that.
No.
I do not agree.
No. I would want. I would rather watch Madam Web than watch this film again.
This
Joker, Joker 2, I will watch it just to see how far a good movie fell. You know, this one, it was just consistently. I'm not interested in the movie, in the character. Like, if you're going into a third movie and you don't have an investment on anybody, then you're just not going to have an investment in this trilogy in general. You know,
and
so.
Joker affects nothing but Joker. This movie,
Mhm.
unfortunately, has the luxury of being the reason why we probably won't get a grounded Spider-Man next film. Which is
Oh
what I
wow.
wanted next time. So
Mhm.
no, fuck this one.
Gotcha. Oh, Tony's also saying the hierarchy of power in the Sony Cinematic Universe is about to change.
Yeah, they're just gonna ask Marvel to do their homework for them, and
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, you
So
reminded me. I gotta find a picture of Nick Cage's spider suit they gave him online, and I'll post it for Monday.
um,
okay.
I think um, I think
So
something that should be commended though. The only thing I did enjoy was literally the final fight. I think it was like fun. I think if like the whole movie had stuck to that type of tone, I think I would have been fine. Like just like the fun shit. Like the symbiotes were all teaming up to fight this one thing.
yeah.
Eddie and Venom were treating the situation
Yeah.
appropriately seriously, but there were still some
Oh,
comedic elements. There were some dumb parts like
yeah.
saving the family, which is kind of like whatever. I mean, I
The
guess, but
family. Oh, the
yeah,
family. Oh
but
my god.
yeah, that was like the only part I really was like, oh, if the movie was just this bare minimum for the whole film, I would be okay. I think this would be
Mhm.
so.
Yeah. To be honest, man, aside from Venom and Carnage, all other symbiotes to me, they're just pretty much the same. Like, so when I saw all of them
But
pop
that's
up,
because,
yeah,
well, to be fair, the ones in this movie are not real symbiotes.
wow. So what are
There's
they?
only two here. That's why I brought that picture. There's only two in that picture that are in that scene. The rest of them are just random, non-descriptive, non. It's like what X Mutant, what X Men films were doing. They started randomly making mutants when it's like a billion of these motherfuckers they could have used.
You want to bring up that picture, Austin?
We'll bring it up. Yeah, I guess we'll all talk about it. Go ahead. The
The
Life Foundation picture
okay.
with all the Venom family. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
in the final scene, what people don't remember, in Venom 1, we had Riot.
Mm-hmm.
Riot was the main villain of that movie, and they gave him another symbiote's powers to make swords for arms. It was funny. The second movie, I believe we got Carnage. Everyone knows Carnage. That's not we don't really talk
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
In this movie, we got Lasher in some of this movie. Lasher with the green one, which they made have like crawl on the wall and stuff.
hmm
You might remember Lasher. Lasher also connected with Deadpool. He was one of the four that got on him. He was the one that
yeah,
usually controls
hybrid.
the dog.
Okay, yeah, hybrid. Yep.
But Lasher's power was the one he used to make, whips, whips and stuff for hands, legs and stuff.
hmm
But he does it here. We also get Agony, but they made Agony the Flash for some reason. And we got Phage, which is in the picture is the bottom right one,
yeah.
the orange. But they made he was super buff because he was on a fat guy.
Wow.
But all the rest of them in that scene were non-descriptive, non-canon symbiotes, or just probably random background symbiotes that didn't have a name.
Yeah.
And the reason
Yeah.
they did that is because they wanted to be careful not to use any they might use in the future. But it's like after Spider-Man 4, is there not be no more fucking Venom films?
Yeah. What the fuck? What the hell will be
Like,
saving these characters for?
yeah, this should have been the only one you should save. The only three you should probably save would be Scream for obvious reasons. That has more ties to
hmm
Spider-Man. You could do that in that movie. You have when his friend turned to Scream.
hmm
Anti-Venom, because that's what Venom would do. That's the best chance they have against Noel, since we can't do
hmm
the comic book stuff.
Oh yeah,
And I don't know, and Toxin technically, but I guess they gotta save him. He ran away. We just didn't see him.
yeah.
He ran away off screen.
hmm
What
He'll be one of those fatalities in Secret Wars or something like that, in the background.
I was worried he got eaten. So you gotta go to the picture of Toxin.
Yeah. Ooh, do.
No, this is Toxin. This is the Patrick Gulligan who they set up as a cop in the last film, who had such a big part of the last film, who was basically a cameo in this film. You want to be real
hmm
about it. He was supposed to be Toxin. Toxin is what the villain turned hero son of, I think he's the son of Carnage, or he's the second son of Venom. I don't remember.
Okay.
It besides the point. But he was the first symbiote we had that was stronger than Carnage and Venom, faster, and he had better regeneration. Like Venom can regenerate, but he can't regenerate whole limbs. That's why like the Flash still had like no legs. People don't know the Flash gets the Venom symbiote, he becomes Agent Venom, but he has no
Yeah.
legs because they got blew up in the war.
Flash
If
Thompson.
Flash got Toxin, his legs would have been fully healed. Like, that's how good Toxin is.
Wow.
You're really almost unkillable.
Yeah.
So I was hoping, as a comic book fan, so I feel I have to say that, I was hoping they were just going to do absolute carnage, but with Toxin.
Also, I just want to say this: like, forget being a comic book fan. You would never like Deadpool was a comedy movie. Okay, imagine if Deadpool 3 was the same quality as this film. You'd be like, well, I don't care if it's comic accurate. It's not good. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's kind of something I also wanted to bring up because, like, when it came to like all the members of the Deadpool Corps popping up, I mean, me as a Deadpool fan, I was just excited to see like all the other variations of Deadpool popping up. Partly because I have a lot of their first appearances, and it was just fun seeing them all have like their moment. Here though,
Yeah.
as a Venom fan, how do you feel about like all these just popping up? Austin.
Everyone else loved it, but I disliked it because
Mm.
they had no purpose. The Deadpool Corps had a purpose.
It just felt hollow,
Doing Venom Corps, okay, they did get from point A to point B. Fine.
Mm-hmm.
Venom Frog was clearly just something you want to do. Venom Fish, you had to get Eddie. I'll let it slide. But that whole section of the film feels like a waste.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Oh man, that scientist lady getting like those electrical powers combined with her symbiote. That was like, what the heck? Are there mutants in this universe, man?
I thought that was Scorn, which is Carnage's daughter, confirmed daughter. Yeah. I told y'all about Scorn before. She's the one who controls technology, electric power, stuff like that. But
that would have made more sense if that would have made more sense other than this whole. Yeah, other than Go ahead.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
like, there's a mentality that I want, like, not just this fan base. It's like I want other fan bases to get away from. Like, just because you see something from something you like does not make it good. I hate that thought. Like, I hate just because, like, oh, they acknowledged it, that automatically makes the whole thing good. This is like the same thing when Star Wars does it, Sonic fans to an extent do it, Dragon Ball fans love to do it. Like, just because you see something that from your childhood you like, or something from something you like, does not make it good. It has to be a story to it. You only like those things because the story around them was entertaining to you. So it has to be the same when they get referenced again. It's just when I see Venom 3, it's like, none of this is entertaining.
Hey, brown sugar is sweet, but like it has to complement the dish you have in your plate, you know? So
like I don't want to see a reference if you're gonna do it like worse than when I originally saw it. It's not good at all. And that's why like Spider-Man No Way Home or like Deadpool, like people know that like Spider-Man No Way Home has like narrative problems. But a lot of those were excused because like a lot of the movie is just good. It's just solid. Like the moments with Goblin referencing the line from Spider-Man 1, like, can the Spider-Man come out to play? I know a lot of people who think that line on its own is dumb. But William Dafoe does such a great job as Green Goblin. Like, no one cares. It's like, oh, okay, well, it was going all around, so who cares? Love matter. You know? That's kind of my issue with just blank references. And Venom is just like, oh, let's put this here because the fans recognize it. But that's all it is. No substance.
Yep.
We'll get brownie points from the fan base if we add this in, you know?
Like, fans don't ask for much, and it's the worst thing ever. It's like we don't get the things that you need or that you really want.
The problem is, like, especially with this movie, they just add stuff in here just to add stuff in here. Like, I mean, the whole secret government, right? They've been catching symbiotes for looks like a while now. It seems like they have a grasp on it if they were able to detect that one drop of Venom symbiote at that bar, right? But then you gotta ask yourself, okay, wait, if you guys have been doing this for a while, how come none of y'all interfered in Venom 1 or Venom 2?
Or
well, to be fair, it is implied that they just started after at least Venom 1.
How do you want better? How come the government has an easier time tracking Venom than the fucking monster that's designed to hunt him does? That thing can only when his powers are.
Oh yeah, pull up the monster credit. Pull up the Xenophage.
Okay. Right there. Awesome.
So people don't know this is people don't know this is the Xenophage. This is the natural predator of symbiote. So eat them. In this movie, they made Noel also create them. Yeah. I guess it's weird because they made Noel in this universe. He has the comic way of punishing them, which is freezing them in the planet, as we saw when we go to Quintar in this movie, where they're stuck under the surface, like frozen in time, basically. But he also making the Xenophage to go eat them, like, and it's like, bro, why just do this? Why you need 2 masters for this? I guess the hunt, but I thought you were asleep or something before this, according to you. Like, what are you talking about?
Gotcha. Also, how does having symbiote powers mean you open portals? No, I'm just a little curious about that. Did that happen in the comics? Like,
to be fair, that is something that came late in the comics where they gave Noel it was weird, because if you remember the whole point about the King Black, that Noel was coming, and he was coming one planet at a time.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have portals. But when we did that, the Edge of Venomverse thing, he had a portal to let Venom, Harry Venom from Spider-Man 2 in there. So, like, I don't know, like, where they come in, or is that, like, a thing he's supposed to do? He was just, like, taking the time and being an asshole about it. But who knows, man?
And also, Noel's first introduction is the worst goddamn thing I've ever seen. It was so stupid. He just starts to no one. Like, he's like, I was here since the beginning.
Yeah, he's ranting to the air.
Right. It's like, who are you talking to?
Well, okay.
I guess what the hell is wrong with you?
Okay, I guess in his defense, yeah, you would start talking to yourself after you spent a millennium trapped in the same seat alone by yourself.
Stupid. Why are you telling your origin story to nobody, though? What prompted this?
The studio prompted it. Like, they're like, okay, we need something that gives the idea of an end game for Venom. So, there's this Venom god. Okay, put him in.
But
You know?
already knows his origin, just from an exposition standpoint. Venom already knows
To
who
be
this is.
fair, to be fair, I realized later in the film it seems like he's talking to Patrick.
He's talking to
I mean,
who?
that's the story that Patrick tells them from the cop dude in the cell.
Oh,
Hmm.
then why not just have
Because
him?
remember, he later in the film also connects back to Noel, and he starts telling the scientists about what Noel's saying,
Hmm.
or the darkness
Yeah,
is coming. He said in the dumbass voice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know.
Jake,
Why not just have?
That's what I
They're
thought.
Jake,
There's
they're
no
putting
reason.
him.
I'm talking from
Go
like a
ahead.
story point perspective. There's no point for us
Yeah.
to see him tell
You
his
think?
own origin story. It's like he's talking to
You
the character. Now, if it's
Yeah.
gonna
you
be
think? You think
later,
this is?
I can say that. You can say like, "I had a vision of Nola. This is what I found out." Like it's something they do in stories all
Mhm.
the time. Why not just have him say it then? It's
Jake, you think they added Noel for storyline purposes, man? They added Noel to say like this is going to be the setup for the next big movie in our
imagine,
universe.
imagine if you just see. Imagine like Thanos' first introduction, like in Infinity War, like 2012.
Yeah,
Like, no, I'm sorry, like Avengers 2012, and he's like,
yeah.
when I was a boy, I lived on Titan, and it was beautiful, and then everyone was killed because of overpopulation. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, just stand there and talk to himself. Like, shut the fuck up. Who are you talking to? There's
Mhm.
no one here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They should
no,
have had Venom tell Eddie's story after they first fought the Xenophage. He's like,
Yeah.
when he was
Which
explaining
is
all
some,
this, his name is Noel. All this stuff. That he should have told him that story, and then they should have
yeah,
showed us with visuals.
yeah, which is something that it seemed like they were going to imply at the end of, oh geez, I forgot which after credit scene this was. Whichever after credit scene had Eddie coming into the 616 universe. I think that was the end of
That was No Way Home.
No Way Home. Yeah, yeah. Like, where Venom was mentioning to Eddie, oh, I've been through a lot of universes or something like that.
Oh,
So let me
that was Carnage.
show
Yeah,
you Carnage. Yeah, that one. It's just at a certain
the
point.
hive mind. We're the multiverse hive mind. I know
Yeah,
I know everything every symbiote knows, and that's how
yeah.
you recognize Spider-Man. That's it.
well, do you know who Eddie Brock is? Because Eddie Brock is very important to your lore. As of, sounds like a multiverse thing for me to know about.
Oh
Uh,
man. Yep,
But
it's true.
yeah, also we need to talk about that because the beginning of this movie soft retcons that scene.
I oh
If
yeah,
you
I
remember in No
hated
Way
that.
Home, the ending was Eddie left a piece of symbiote in the 616, and then he got teleported out.
Yes, yes,
Here, it seems like they retconned it to where Eddie got home first, and then he left a piece of symbiote, and the
yes.
government took it.
That and
Realistically,
mhm,
I think the implication that he did it both times because
yeah,
you still got to get Spider-Man connected and taking the if you take the Spider thing out, the symbiote thing out the 616. There's no reason or way that Venom should be able to like even talk to Spider-Man or even do this crossover at all.
yeah, yeah.
So I feel like they want to do it both ways because I don't know if you remember, just in the original trailer, they show you they teleport to 616, but here they don't
Yep,
teleport.
yep.
So I feel like they changed it
Do
last
they?
minute when they got Marvel to play ball and do Spider-Man 4 as the Noel thing.
Yeah, it's almost like they're making this
But
up as they're filming the scenes, man. Right?
yeah, like
I
'cause
think it
that
was.
was ridiculous.
I think it was like one of the people behind Morbius when they were asked, like, from one of the fan about, like, hey, how does this fit into the multiverse of your films down the line? And he said, "Do you really think we have like a dartboard going on at Sony? Do you really think
You
we're
should.
planning this out a phase one, a phase two, a phase three?"
no, because that would require effort, and Sony is the most low effort movie studio I've ever fucking seen in my life. How the hell you have Spider-Man characters under your control, and you can't make one movie on purpose that is better that's on the level of Spider-Verse? Okay, like I don't. This is insane.
Oh man, the fall from grace.
He kind of spin, man.
They
Uh,
can't even make a movie as good as Spider-Man 1. It's been years. That was their movie. They can't even do that again. This
hey,
sucks.
Spider-Man 2 was good, man. Come on,
No, no,
don't
no.
diss
I'm saying
that.
they can't.
Yeah.
That was movies they owned, and they can't make a movie on that level. And it's been how long? It's been years since then. I was a child when Spider-Man 2 came out, and they still can't make a movie.
He was a child.
Oh wow. Hey, flukes happen, man. What can you say? Flukes happen, let's see. What else in this movie can we talk about? Oh, I just love how this film just kind of like adds things for kind of no explanation or reasoning. One point I want to bring up, like the family, right? Okay, so all of a sudden a hippie family comes into this film, and yeah, there is about implied hippies as you could think of. Have a checklist of check boxes to fill out. Dad with a beard and long hair, check. Them all riding in a hippie van, check. Them talking about conspiracy theorists from the government, check. This and that, So they're like,
so Eddie can have a quirky family he can save at the end.
you see, I could buy that. That's one explanation I can think of. But another explanation I was thinking that they were going to do was, okay, so is this going to be the stand-in for how they're going to bring in hybrid into the mix? Like every one of this family is going to get their own family symbiote,
Yeah,
I was like, maybe that could have made this work, but it just got stupid. The more you saw them, like, okay, we're finally at the fence of Area 51. All right, now let's go under the fence and start snooping in. Yeah, it's not like the government shoots people on sight here. Yeah, let me bring my kids with me. Let's make this a family event.
As we've seen from real life, you could just walk into Area 51 that easily. We know that from real life. Remember the whole we're gonna start Area 51 thing.
Yeah, well, okay, that's real life, but in here, considering the fact that it seems like Area 51 in this universe has a lot of top secret stuff that they're trying to hide, I would imagine that yes, shoot on sight is a definite thing over here.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? No, screw it. Like the fact that they have like an limit. Oh, hold a sec. Sorry. Austin, you here?
Yeah, it's all right. My mic came out, and then when I put it back in, it just wouldn't let me talk.
Gotcha. I just can't look at the screen for like a full show length,
It's
so
all good. I was enjoying what y'all was saying.
Okay, gotcha. So go back to the family, right? Okay, or going back to like Area 51 wanting to hide their stuff. You know what? I say screw it, because like the fact that they have an elimination chamber out on broad daylight to the surface just shows how stupid this concept was. The acid bath chamber. Yeah. Like, what? Do drones not exist in this universe?
No.
Like, oh my god!
Hey, you're funny. You're funny.
What?
Drones did exist. They was in the first movie, made by the guy from the first film. They chased Eddie down the street when he was on a motorcycle.
Exactly.
The only thing I think people would point to say like, oh no, this makes sense, is because they say in one of the title cards that the base is about to be decommissioned. Right, but it still has sensitive military equipment there. They don't have any security. Yeah. Like, wait.
There are people in the military in this.
Yeah, there are aliens here. Right. There are still aliens here. Yeah,
there are items of great interest to the government here. So. Oh man, it expects you to just forget to consume and not think about it, basically.
Cryptic, you brought up hybrid. They did a version of hybrid. So Venom got the multiple hits in the trailer. That's a different version of hybrid.
Oh, okay. I think I remember seeing that.
But that also showed up like web of shadows and stuff like that.
Okay. I remember that now. So yeah.
But I hated this family, bro. They felt like it just was such a waste of time. Doesn't get a funny bit of Eddie. Look, Eddie was supposed to have this mini arc where he killed that woman. He felt bad about it, and he was supposed to redeem himself in his own eyes. He saved that kid of his family he wrote with.
Which I don't.
But it's so shittily done. Who cares?
Right. I don't even see how it correlates. He saves people all the time. He saved a family.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how he basically made a plane crash and didn't care about that though?
No, he did not.
Oh, they just glossed over that whole scene, didn't they?
After the shitty introduction of the villain, by the way, one of the The worst villain.
Wow. 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 I mean, it's not just even the fact that, like, a monster. I mean, that Venom creature came in. I mean, dude, Venom, Eddie, you thought it was a good idea to like attach yourself on the outer side of the plane as it's flying?
I,
Like, dude,
I don't even know.
seriously?
Yeah, I don't even know. Oh, and then thank you for reminding me of this. The worst is visually it looks fine. Visually, I have no problem with it. If it was written better, I would have no problem with it. But the worst scene in this movie, because of the logic in it, is the dance scene with Mrs. Chen.
That is
scene,
another scene that I wanted to bring up.
that
It
scene,
was a cameo scene, which is fine in itself, but it wastes so much of the movie. I mean, because it wastes so much of the movie.
I
it was
don't even want to give it the honor of saying it was a cameo scene because this just made no sense whatsoever. Because Eddie, comes out to LA, right? And then just randomly out of nowhere, that what's her name?
Mrs. Chen.
Mrs. Chen,
Mrs. Chen. She just happens to be at the casino where Eddie was at. She's like, Eddie. Oh, and I'm also
happens to be
on the website.
winning.
Everything.
I'm
Like
only
what?
because this is like the only time it gets away with me because the point of Mrs. Chen that she's just like she's a fun random character. She does like a random cameo in Spider-Verse. Like I'm okay with that. I just don't like that when Venom and Eddie both know that there's this alien on screen right now chasing them. The only way it can track them is if they use their powers, like they use the armor, whatever. And Venom, who actively does care about Mrs. Chen, is like, no, I just want to dance with her. No.
Yeah.
The alien came in
Right.
and killed Mrs. Chen on accident.
Wait, she's dead? I must have missed
No.
that
I'm saying,
scene.
what if? I'm saying him doing
Oh,
that.
No, it could have happened.
Right, because
Yeah.
there are other times when he turns off the. By the way, the alien's weakness is so fucking stupid. The alien can't see Eddie and Venom the moment they turn their symbiote armor off, so it will freak out and it will spam in any direction unless.
Let me rephrase that. It can see them, but if it don't see the codex, it won't attack them. Even though it sees it turn, it looks at Venom as he turns into Eddie, and it still turns around.
Right. So the fact there was like a scene later when Eddie uses that, he turns it off, and then looks around like it doesn't. It's confused for some reason, and it kills a military guy next to Eddie. Now imagine if that was Mrs. Chen. That's all I'm saying. When they're doing the dance and the alien comes in and Eddie turns off the power, and then instead of just running away like it did for some reason, it just hits Mrs. Chen. Like Mrs. Chen could have died there. That's how stupid it is.
Yeah.
It was such a waste of time.
Waste of time. Like
I hated it for. I like her character, but it feels weird to prioritize Mrs. Chen over Amy or like his girlfriend or any other person who had a big part of this movie. these franchises. Because his girlfriend is she Venom, and she could have been a lot of help when everyone was getting symbiotes and fighting. Who she had a symbiote twice already.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just.
But he prioritized Mrs. Chen.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead.
You know what?
That's it.
Okay.
Mrs. Chen is
I think.
my girlfriend.
Yeah, I think the writers might have just looked at her one cameo into that Spider-Verse film. Because, like, that was like a possibly reacted cameo, by the way, A lot of people were delighted to see that. And then they're like, okay, we got to find a way to work her in to the last Venom movie, So.
She's just too entertaining of a character. I don't hate her.
Nah. This complete randomness out of nowhere just kind of dulled her whole scene for me. Yeah, Venom. Yeah. Let's dance. Like what? Like, just randomly, let's just dance.
Yeah. The dance looks.
Well, where did y'all learn this? Like, yeah, they practice some dance number off screen with no setup, and Venom just stopped caring about anything. The fact that he's almost dead, almost died, he's so scared of this monster that he keeps running away without even trying to fight it. At first, it's like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like, no. Jake brought this up, me and him watching. I don't like the fact that Eddie and Venom are both bitches. If one of them was a bitch, it would be fine. But how is Eddie bitching out and being scared of these aliens is fine. Venom should not be scared of every alien he fights. Remember, he cried, he bitched about Riot. But, Riot, he got shit you ain't never seen. We can't fight him. He sees Carnage.
Yep.
Oh, it's a red one. We can't fight him. And it's like, bro, this is kind of
And then,
pathetic. You want to be the lethal protector of the world and save everyone. You're scared every time anything shows up that can fight you.
He's supposed to
But
fight.
it's a regular person. He's ready to eat their heads off.
He's supposed to fight Tom Holland Spider-Man, and I don't care what people say. Tom Holland is a fucking menace as a fighter, bro. His Spider-Man. And you want him? He beat a Sorcerer Supreme. His strategies beat Giant Man. He beat the Black Order. He was going toe to toe with Thanos and the fucking Goblin. And you want Venom to go against that? This Venom?
No. What's going to happen is at the end, like Venom will realize, oh, I'm more stronger than I think of. Because remember, at the end of the fight scene, right? You know, despite all the fear Venom had against that monster, all of a sudden, somehow he's able to hold on to 6 of them at once.
Yeah.
You notice that?
He's able to absorb and stick to all of them without them just eating the symbiote off their skin. Like they shown to do in the Sonic what they do.
Like, again, it just expects you to just consume and not think about it. Like, I don't get it, you know? And yeah, apparently, like that acid bath was enough to kill all of them. And I guess, you know, it was able to kill all of them, but yet at the same time, you know, of course, it killed Venom at the end too. But somehow he was able to last long enough to make sure all 6 of them were sticking to that acid bath. I'm like,
and it was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you let the ending stuff like that slide because it's the end of the movie. You're ready to go home at this point. And it wasn't a good movie. Everyone ready to leave. So we let that slide, but it was not good. And man,
I had problems with the
emotional beats he
ending.
was going for. I think in a better movie would have been like. That's why I was okay.
I had a problem. I had a problem with the ending.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Because like it's the same problem I had when I watched the Marvels when Monica quote unquote died. You know, they spend a significant amount of time like, you know, mourning her death, everybody reacting to her death, acting as if she's gone forever. And you as the audience member are like, you know, she's coming back, right? Like seriously, like we know she's gonna be back in time for Avengers, whatever, and that stuff. And it was kind of the same case with this. Like, do you really expect me to believe that we're going to get Null coming back in the future, but we're not going to get Venom? Like, I mean, come on, just
you think you think we believe you're gonna let Agony be the new franchise? Come on, bro.
Yeah,
everybody's gonna watch a movie called Agony.
Exactly. I mean, just basically the raw concept of Venom. Like, literally, one drop is all you will need for him to be resurrected. You know.
Well, even he's just goodbye for now. So I mean,
that's why. And then you get the post-credit scene where apparently a lot of these symbiotes might still be alive. Because little pieces of them left behind their cages and tails about to attach to a cockroach.
I would have rather done. I hated that after credits scene, to be honest. Like, heck, even the people in the movie theater I went to, like, they're like, "That's lame." Like, what the, like that random guy from the bar. You know, I didn't even realize he was taken in by the government, right? But apparently he was, and he's like now the last person in what's left of Area 51. He comes out. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" He runs out, and then you see just in the background that little test tube they used to imprison that drop of venom that was from the bar. It's cracked, and a cockroach just happened to be right by it. And you don't see the symbiote actually possessing the cockroach; it's just implied. I guess the studio's like, okay, yeah, we don't want to sink another 50,000 for this 10-second shot of the symbiote. So
basically,
yeah.
So it just feels like a waste of time. That means down the next film we'll have to have like 30 minutes of Eddie without Venom. Then he has to go find Venom and get Venom. Venom has to find him, or him holding like.
Yeah, Austin, that
Oh,
just goes back to my point of what I said earlier when it felt like that the end credit scene just recycled a previous end credit scene because you remember in the end of the third Spider-Man movie, Eddie leaves behind a drop of venom. What happens at the end of this movie? There's a drop of venom left behind. So I'm like, wow,
yep.
you guys can't even be creative. You had to recycle something from an MCU movie. Wow.
Realistically, I think the plan was that Peter gets with Venom, but maybe they're not a perfect host, and so then like they freak out, and then Eddie's the one who has to save them with the bell or whatever, and then that's how.
Uh,
I still think they're gonna do the perfect hosting, but I think it's gonna be. I think it was clear they want to give they want to end this franchise with an
there,
actual looking Venom.
there.
So he's gonna get on Peter. He's gonna like Peter.
Yeah. Audience, there's no way in heck that they're going to have the Flash Thompson of the MCU be the Agent Venom, like this version. No way.
They did mention in the film some guy with no legs at some point.
Even
Yeah.
though even though this version of Venom and that version of Flash are compatible, I wouldn't say like the original version, like the one from the comics, but the one in the one.
Yeah.
Dude, I cannot see that.
He'll have
that
an easier
actor
chance making
poking
this
up.
one a real hero than the comic one.
Yeah.
I just can't see that version of Flash Thompson bulking up and saying like, "Oh, I'm going to the military," since
Not even that.
he's,
It's like he wants to be Spider-Man so bad. If he had powers that were like Spider-Man, he would act out for it. He would do it.
But then that would be more of a
Oh.
goofy take on Agent Venom at that point.
It wouldn't be the one from the comic. It wouldn't be an actor. I would agree with that. I'm just saying like it would just be.
Well, it would. I don't think it would be an Agent Venom in like any way possible. It'd just be Venom acting like Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
I guess.
But no, I agree. It wouldn't be the one.
I get what you mean, but it's like Agent Venom's whole thing to reach the act like because he's in the army. So you can have regular Flash doing it against Fan Raimi, start doing like army stuff. It'll throw people off, I think.
Yeah.
But I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, it's just they talked about a guy with no legs who I assume was going to be their Agent Venom eventually in this film. Like the government people talked about him, but that didn't go anywhere. But man, Noel doing all that just to be like, oh yeah, I'm up now. Oh look, this is why I brought up Absolute Carnage because that's what that book was. Absolute Carnage was Carnage going around collecting the codexes from people who had symbiotes. I thought this one was going to be instead of Carnage, it's going to be Toxin. He was going to go around try to hunt down Eddie and anyone who had the symbiote on the last few films, so he can get their codexes. Because the whole point of getting them was to unlock Noel. Carnage wanted to unlock Noel and drag Noel to Earth so he can kill him and take his power. That was the whole point. So you could have easily did that plot, and that would have saved this movie a lot of time to whatever the fuck they did to here. And then the next movie just be Noel showing up. But for Noel to sit there and give a whole entire speech about his life story, and then at the end of the movie, like, guess what? I'm gonna come kill you now, and he still didn't leave the planet yet. Was ass. All he did was nod his head up from looking down.
Yeah.
People want to talk about Kang being worse than Thanos, bro. At least Kang had a story. Not like at least throughout the movies, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, people are scared of Kang. I'm not scared of this bitch. I'm scared of Kang." At least I had Loki for Kang, at very least. No,
The worst part is this universe is so empty. It's like you can't be like, "Oh, he fought Celestials. He did all this. He did all this crazy shit. He didn't do nothing. This nigga's just been here. There's nothing Sony can do to hype up this man that makes him feel like a threat. Oh, he's a god of symbiotes. Oh, okay, so he just stretch his arm. I don't care.
He has a giant symbiote dragon. Come on, audience. Come watch. Give him money.
Hell, he didn't even have that. That would have been cooler. Really, the Grendel was the final villain. It was just Xenophage. He has the Grendel.
But you, the fans, know how strong he is, so it's okay because we don't have to do the homework because you'll just cope for us.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You want to know about this movie? You want this movie to make sense? Buy the comics, even though we didn't even follow the comics to make the movie.
Yeah. Aren't you happy? Look, we name dropped Strickland into this movie, guys. Come watch our movies. You know.
Read the comic to understand why you like this character. That means your adaptation was fucking ass and it was not a good movie. I'm sorry, it was not. Maybe it was a good movie. It was a good adaptation.
Okay. Well, let's have a little fun with this, all right? You know how some studios are now going to be listening to fans when it comes to future comic book movies. let's let's say we're all in the boardroom, discussing what the next plans for Noel is. Where do you guys want to see him?
Can I have a gun?
I want to see him in a Spider-Man Venom movie, but not particularly a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
I want Spider-Man to do his own film first.
Yeah.
Which
Whatever
Spider-Man?
crossover movie you do should not be Spider-Man 4. This should be
Nah.
Venom 4 or a solo Spider-Man and Venom movie. This should not count as Spider-Man 4, the movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The whole home trilogy was building Peter up to be the Spider-Man, and we are finally there. And for him to have to do a multiverse movie with a shitty ass Venom is fucking ass.
Yeah.
I just
You know, look, realistically, like Noel should kind of be like a Thanos level villain, but I just don't see any studio wanting to waste an actual an Avengers level crossover on Noel. You know?
I don't Marvel doesn't
So-
want to do it. And if it's just Spider-Man and Venom and they beat all by themselves, then he's ass. I'm sorry, it's not impressive.
Yeah.
Realistically, they probably should have No Way Home this thing, and every Spider-Man and Venom fight him, and you could have gave every Spider-Man a different symbiote.
Yep. Oh, that's what we need. More people getting Venomized, right?
No.
No. Well, I mean, like, if MCU Peter Tom Holland got like the Venom suit, then you could have gave like anti-Venom to like Toby, and then like Toxin to the other one. Anyone that can physically hurt Noel, you could have used in here to make a unique crossover between all three of these franchises.
Yeah.
But realistically, if I had to pick a Spider-Man Venom fight, I probably would pick Toby because Toby already got history of Venom, and then just be like the continuation of that arc he already has.
Yeah.
Like, Venom can show up and be like, "Hey, yo, I know you. I know we had history. I know you fought a version of me, but I'm not him. But I need you to prepare. You need to bulk up because this guy's on his way, and you're about to fuck up everything." I'm not gonna lie.
I agree with that narratively. It's better than what I'm gonna say, but I would pick Andrew because I just feel like at the risk of giving Andrew Glazers who only like him because of No Way Home and not the actual movie, I swear. At the risk of giving them ammo, I do think that there's more you could do long term with an Andrew Garfield for the Sony universe than Toby, who I feel like was kind of done.
To be fair, it could be his trilogy in there. That could have been you could have done a lot for that film.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Andrew
him becoming the Spider-Man that fails and then coming back and saving the universe could be a big deal for him.
Right, it was already set up in No Way Home that he could be redeemed. So
I never fought an alien.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
Isn't Andrew pushing close to 50 right now or something?
Isn't he what?
Yeah, but he wants to come back for like
Secret
Wars stuff. He can do one more film.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
we're not saying restart his. We're not saying restart his Spider-Man franchise. We're just saying you got to do one more Noel movie, the end Noel. That probably be the Spider-Man you go for them. If you want a satisfying ending for a character, that'll be Andrew Garfield. I just feel like it's more stuff narrative-wise you can do with Toby.
Yeah, because he needs the redemption movie, so his fans will shut the fuck up anyway. So.
Yeah. From my point of view, I think the next time we'll see Noel won't be until after that Into the Spider-Verse film. But this after the third film ends and we get a fourth one, it's going to probably be about Noel. Just to recycle.
It's not
at that point.
I doubt it.
Really? That's what just on.
It honestly feels like they're trying to end. I know. I understand what you're saying, and I can see them doing like the Venom verse instead of the Inheritor. That's like the main villain of the Spider-Verse film. That makes perfect. I understand that.
Yep.
I doubt the people who made Spider-Verse want to do that shit. I feel like if Sony tried to make do that, they'll leave.
Oh my god!
Because remember, they don't have to play ball with Sony. They came to Sony with this Miles Morales deal, and said, "Man, let them do it."
That's it.
They could easily go back to DC with the Batman Beyond. Like, look, we proved to you we can make film. Now let's do Batman Beyond like we originally wanted to.
The studio will be like, okay, we know the special effects artists work to the bone to make all different sorts of animation styles for all these spider people. But now we need you to do that same thing with a different animation style for all these Venom people.
Yep.
Oh,
but man, I honestly feel like Spider-Man 4 is going to be end of Noel. But in the process of doing Null, unless like even if they let Marvel writers do it, I doubt we're gonna get a satisfying ending. Because
Nah.
realistically, could you read the comics? There's no way they
Yeah.
can beat Null. Any way they beat Null is gonna be contrived, and realistically, all these fans who say, "Oh, it's comic actor," should be pissed the fuck off. Because there's no
Yeah.
logical way they're going to
There's
beat him
there's a,
if they don't bring in Thor, Silver
there
Surfer, and all the same way they
there's
did in the comic to beat him.
there's only so much you can stretch Miles's Venom blast to to harm a no symbiote. You know,
Well, you're gonna
have
say
him
he's
go
gonna
and
Yeah,
now. No.
yeah. You really think that the studio wants to go to that level of power of Miles in the movie?
I'm sure they don't
yeah.
care.
I fully believe Sony would not care and will do it fine. These are the same people that had Miles outclass hundreds of Spider people casually to try to go home.
I just want them to get to the point where they say like, hey, let's give Miles a suit made of vibranium and state that the vibranium suit is there just to stabilize Miles's overpoweredness at this point. Yeah,
No, no,
audience.
you lucky they don't pull Avengers versus Aliens. You just be like, oh well, they beat Venom. Guess what? A Grendel White Miles, and now the Grendel's going to be a suit. Now you got that too. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, true. Let's see.
but man,
I'm trying to think of something else. Was there anything else in this film that we didn't dissect already?
Yeah, the fucking
let's see.
pacing of the movie is so fucking terrible. Like the whole
Yeah,
opening bit with Eddie on the rooftop of Venom, it's just going from scene to scene to scene, but like no real
Yeah.
purpose. And that's
yeah.
fucking stupid. I remember just being
Yeah.
like, what? I don't feel like
The
the movie
whole
was
road trip felt useless,
Yeah.
and then you get to like casino just for Mrs. Chang, and then he does that dumb shit that makes that whole scene feel useless. That's an hour of the
Mhm.
film.
And I know people say this when I know what they actually do when they say this, but they're like where people feel like, oh, it feels like there's no plot here. I mean, plot. There's like a reason for them doing it in narrative speaking, but the way it's cut together and the way they string together the scenes makes it feel like nothing is happening in the film. It's like what's going on
Yeah.
here?
No fight scene before the final. The final one lasts long enough for it to be any type of entertaining.
Mhm.
And realistically, you're not watching this Venom movie to watch Venom beat up regular people again. You know what I mean?
No.
So at the end, the government stuff ain't entertaining either.
Mhm. That is
And then the
true.
action felt worse than like the last film, and like until the final fight.
Just more goo action. More
Yeah,
goo. Oh, and by the way,
Venom One got around it because they separated Venom and Riot, so Eddie and the main human guy from that movie can fight as well. And that's how they kind of fixed it
yeah,
in that one. And here it was just symbiotes doing goo attacks against monsters that didn't kill, that didn't hurt, and they just kept regenerating, just fighting each other until they got eaten.
Yep, that's true. And by the end, the studio's like, "Oh, y'all like that scene with the venomized horse? Well, let's do every other animal for the end credit scene for the credits. Let's give you a
Yeah,
venomized turtle, a venomized elephant, a venomized tiger, a venomized crocodile, a venomized
yeah.
rabbit. Yeah,
People on TikTok trying to gaslight people about that, like, oh, you don't like Venom horse, Venom fish stuff? I feel the same way how I feel about when Thor turned to a frog. You're like, that's not the same thing. A
nah.
comic book medium doing a story about frog or something, not the same as Venom just turning into a frog, just turn into a frog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah,
The horse,
ask
okay, we
anybody.
gotta get from point A to point B. Fine. The
Yeah.
frog was just to be a frog.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, hey, ask anybody who's been into comics for a long time right now. We're all kind of a little bit drained on every single every single character being venomized. Like the novelty's just drawn out. Heck, this year alone, I
The
think
only
what
one I like recently was like Black Widow, because Black Widow symbiote was least unique. But usually just people getting black goo and then using their arms to
Mhm.
make weapons, which is super
Yep.
boring.
I mean,
And the
like,
worst part
hey,
is Venom always has an event going on in the background. Even if you're not reading a book, there's something always going on. Like
exactly. I mean,
somehow.
heck, audience, like just this past week at the timing of this video, right? Deadpool became a third adaptation of a symbiote. Yeah, yeah, you heard me,
Yep.
audience. He was the original uh, Venomized Deadpool in Secret Wars. Then he went on to be Hybrid, the amalgamation of four different symbiotes. And now recently he
You
said,
got
like, you
Venom
know what?
Pool.
Yep,
Oh
Venom
yeah, no, that's
Pool.
perfect.
Yep, and now he's fused with a Carnage.
Venom has the opposite of the X-Men problem, where it's like, bro, just stay with Spider-Man. Either be by yourself. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah.
weird. The thing weird, the point where like I'm sick of you being your own character. Just go back to playing Spider-Man, bro. But
Oh
just go
man.
home.
Yeah, that's just kind of what makes Noel a bit difficult to work with going forward, because like, if you're gonna have him fighting a bunch of other heroes, you know you're gonna have about a handful of Venomized characters at this point. You know that, right?
But they're not going to. I don't think Marvel.
I think that's fine with it for a movie thing, because for the regular audience, they never got that. For us, it's
Marvel
gonna be aggravating. For them, it's gonna be exciting. But like, how far do you go with it? Like,
is not.
because when go ahead, Jake.
Marvel's going to put all their manpower into doing Doomsday. They're not going to spare Avengers for like no fucking reason over this shitty thing that they don't want to do. Really don't want to do. So it's just going to be Spider-Man,
Like,
maybe one or two other
Tony.
characters outside of Spider-Man, and that's it.
it's mostly gonna be
Got
Spider-Man, and if they make him, like I said, the reason I thought they saved Screamed in them, because I was like, if Peter Parker reconnects with like Ned and them, they're gonna get, and we're gonna get Mary Jane Scream again, and something for Ned, and they're gonna help him. They're gonna be the dumbest shit possible. So that's the only thing you can
you
do,
mean
realistically, because you need
you
more
mean
help.
you mean we're actually going to get the MCU MJ to be wearing red at this point by her becoming a symbiote? That's all it's going to have to take.
We're gonna play.
Okay. We'll give her red hair. Oh, you guys want her to have red hair? Okay, fine. We'll have her have a full red design. There you go.
Man,
Yeah.
like
Tony's
I'm
saying Tony's saying Avia Rod will pay for this. Yeah. Why not? It's
yeah.
not like he's doing
I
anything
really
else.
wish this was the end, bro. The fact that we're getting Spider-Man dragged down is probably the worst part of this whole thing. Because we already know the plot that Spider-Man wanted to do. Peter Parker, Daredevil taking on doing a version of Devil's Reign with Kingpin, and uh, and he was gonna have a special Spider-Man related villain like Minions. That was gonna be a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that would have been a perfect film. That's the thing people always wanted. Other than like Spider-Man, Deadpool, people wanted Spider-Man and Daredevil.
And it's coming off of the emotional weight of like him losing Aunt May, him losing his friends and his girlfriends. It just would have been like, I was like, oh, I want my Spider-Man to suffer. Well, he's suffering, and it would have been perfect.
This is him going through the Andrew Garfield experience, like his version of going through the dark side. You know, how can he handle it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Man,
well,
there's one thing I was surprised about. No, I won't lie.
What?
I won't say it was good. It wasn't in the film, but there's a lot of Venom powers they just choose not to use, and it really throws me off. Like Venom, they had Venom knock out this guy that still explodes. Venom can camouflage.
Yeah.
Like Venom changes clothes
unnecessary
all the time.
That was completely
He
unnecessary.
did that for no reason.
Wow.
Like I understand they want to save the wings for Noel, but that's instead of the horse, you could have did the wings. Could have did a lot of stuff. Like we could have got past a lot of this stuff way faster. You just use the powers that Venom has.
Yep. But hey,
it just gets ridiculous sometimes.
Hey, Sony must be like, we'll use these, we'll pay off these power-ups some point in the future. Maybe not. Yeah, whatever. Just give us your money, audience. You know. So yeah.
But and people won't because as long as it has flashy comic references and Venom's funny.
I think the worst part about all this is that I think the worst part about all this is that this was supposed to be The symbiote invasion what the thing was always going to lead to. It was the thing the first movie teased, and they kind of dropped it in the second film. But it was the thing they wanted to do since the first film. So
Hmm.
why is this trilogy so disjointed?
It's a divorced parent. It's a divorced parent situation. Like
Yeah,
it's
they
clear
also changed the
they.
reason. In first, when the symbiotes were coming here, because they were looking for other places to invade, because
Yeah.
they want to let their race and their race know where this planet was.
Hmm.
That's why Riot wanted to go back home in the first movie. He gets destroyed.
Hmm.
So the symbiotes should not even be on Earth again after that. No other symbiotes other than Carnage to be here.
Hmm.
And then suddenly they're all just dropping here anyway because they're scared of Noel. But it's like
I think they just wanted to do Carnage. I
so
think
so everything the first movie did to set up this invasion didn't matter. He just
Yeah.
knows anyway.
Hmm.
I think they just wanted to do Carnage. That's why they had no setup for two. Like they said, I think in their heads they're like, well, we have to do Carnage. We have to do Venom trilogy about fucking
So I
Carnage.
think it's funny. Like I feel like they want to do Noel initially, like eventually, because they want to do the Sinister Six film as well. So I think the original plan was going to be their Sinister Six versus Noel as their big thing. They're going to be their cause
Hmm.
because they weren't going to do Spider Man. They're probably going to be their own Sinister Six team of villains becoming heroes for fighting Noel. But they said did the first movie and decided we want to do Carnage. And instead of doing absolute Carnage in that film, was it land perfectly into Noel, they just do a random Carnage story. It wasn't even fully based on any of the Carnage one.
That's assuming that they were planning ahead for Noel in the third film,
You know what
man.
they? You know what
Because
they?
To be fair,
remember,
I was assuming because they wanted to do the Symbiote invasion. It's
uh,
possible they didn't know who the fuck
that,
Noel was at the time.
yeah, like the reason I say that is because remember the after credit of the first Venom movie when we saw Cletus, dude, that wig they gave her, what was his name?
It was
Woody
so
Harrelson.
bad. Woody Harrison.
It was
Yeah.
it was horrible, man. Like what
It
the
was
heck
so
was that?
bad.
Yeah, like that. They're just like at the last minute. Tom Hardy, do you have 10 hours to spare? Let's film this one scene. So that's what it was. They're like, yeah. That's why I
I
say
think
they're
it's the
just making this
worst.
up.
Because if this series was a success, can you imagine like how more stuff they would have ruined? If like Venom was genuinely good, and then they
Uh
did
huh.
their whole so what Suicide Squad bullshit, Sinister Six thing, where it's
Oh,
like, oh, we got Morbius, we got Carnage, they got Rhino and I mean, we got not Carnage, we got Craven.
yeah,
We're gonna have Rhino and
yeah,
Craven. Remember they want the Black Cat and Silver Saber movie. They wanted Secret Agent Aunt May, but their movies were failing, so they didn't want to take shots for doing this random stuff.
I would have.
hey,
I would have took it.
for you know
I would
what? For
I would
all
have had
we
the Sinister Six build up to Null, and then they fight
for
Null, and
all
then they just get like
yeah.
killed at the end. I think most of them, if not all of them, would have been killed. And then Eddie's like, "Oh
Yeah,
fuck, I can't win this fight. I need help."
yeah,
Somehow, some way, the fight goes to the
yeah.
MCU. Yeah, like Spider. Listen, I looked in the codex. That symbiote said that you're a guy I could turn to. I need your help, bro. I don't know what to do. Something like that. I mean, you could do something like that.
Wow.
That would require
Yeah,
Sony to have balls to kill off people that are making money off of it, which they wouldn't do. But that would be
is
like
what it is.
a pitch, yeah.
And
So
hey, yep. And Austin, to go to your point about those concepts that we never got to see move forward. Hey, if the last Deadpool movie taught us anything, you had like a Gambit project that never went through, but they're like, oh, okay, so this place where they're dumping all the multiversal people, it can also be of concepts that never made it to the picture, to the big screen. So hey, we may see that agent Aunt May for all we know, Austin.
I would rather have Agent Aunt May in this film. I think at least because the reason I say that because at least they had to be creative.
Hmm.
They would have had to think up something for that film, for that to make that film.
Yeah.
Black Cat Silver Sable was such an easy film they could have did. I don't know why they kept putting it off. Oh,
Hmm.
Black Cat still something for Silver Sable's comedy. Silver Sable's under now. Easy. They got one to do Spider
Two,
Woman. I don't see how that
two.
took so long. Like, why are you prioritizing
Hey.
these films over those?
Two femme fatale women with long white hair. How hard was it to do that?
The posters would have been fire. You could have done a
Oh
lot with
yeah.
that. And
Oh
then Silver
yeah.
Surfer Black Cat just became more popular because it was in Spider-Man game, Spider-Man PS4. It was the perfect
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
Um,
But
but yeah,
yeah.
Sony's a terrible studio. The fact that they have to sell the rights to Spider-Man to this studio was a real tragedy. It was a necessary evil at the time, but damn, I wish Kevin Feige just got the full rights back.
Yeah, why couldn't we tell
Amen.
the Fox so we could have just got it back
Right.
with everything else?
I know Kevin
Amen.
Feige prays every night that somehow, some way he can find a loophole in that deal and he can get the full rights. But
I feel like that's why he's rushing X-Men, so he don't have to rely on Spider-Man being such a moneymaker.
you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was trying to remember this. So I was gonna pitch this scripted. Here, you ready for this? You ready for this?
Go ahead. Go
We
ahead.
don't just bring back Spider-Man. We don't put Spider-Man and we're gonna get all the Spider-Man crossovers everyone wants to see out the way. We're not just doing Spider-Man and Venom. We'll do Spider-Man, Venom, and Deadpool.
Yay!
Anyway,
I want them to go on and explain. Yeah, I want them to go on and explain that this version of Venom had previously taken control of a different version of Deadpool,
I
and that's
wouldn't.
why he feels so wacky.
I wouldn't even give a shit at this point because I don't even care. You have all three of them together, and then like you have Deadpool's already saved the multiverse once. He's about to do it again. Okay.
Yep.
And you get those crossovers out of the way. So the next Spider-Man movie could just be a Spider-Man. You could just have everything, all of it, all in your system. But that's my pitch.
This movie has done the impossible. I feel like we're going to end it here, but this movie has done the impossible. It killed all hype for a Spider-Man film.
A movie being so bad that it damaged other movies' audience. Wow. The only other time I saw something like that happen was Captain Marvel, but
I honestly don't like. I didn't mind Craven because while Craven changed and stuff, it is kind of faithful to the original Craven. Cause he hated hunters, he liked to take down hunters, all that stuff. But this made me not even want to come back to this universe. I don't care that he's fighting Rhino anymore.
You know what? I still have hype for surprisingly Craven being a decent movie.
You reminded me. Why is Craven rated R and this movie wasn't?
Because he has to cross over with Spider-Man, and Sony thinks that Spider-Man's gonna be PG-13, so Venom has to be.
Yeah, I completely.
This didn't have to be. That movie had to be.
No, it didn't.
Venom literally ate like 3 people's heads off audience one by one in the same scene, and no drop of blood.
Because if I remember correctly, this was going to be rated R up until like the last minute again, and they switched it. I think that's because they got Marvel to play ball by them, and they're like, okay, well, fuck it,
dude, they were.
And to be fair, I don't think rated R would have saved this film.
Dude, if they weren't going to make a Carnage movie rated R, what made people think that this movie was going to be rated R?
I think
because Deadpool and Wolverine did rated R and did well. That's why.
Yeah, also kids go see rated R movies all the time. I don't even know what this whole stigma is anymore. Like Deadpool proved that Deadpool and Terrifier 3 proved.
And also, Tom Hardy himself was pushing for this to be rated R.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all because this is all for their obsession with getting Spider-Man and Venom on screen. Which if they actually put the effort in, I wouldn't mind. But they refused.
The funny part is we say that like it's such a hard thing. They have their own Spider-Man that they can play ball with. They just got to convince Toby or Andrew to come back. They could have easily did it. They own those movies in those universes.
Yeah, I know Andrew.
One of them already had a Venom.
I know Andrew still has movies coming up. He has his own projects with other movies and all that stuff. Toby, what's he doing nowadays anyway? Like, I don't see him in anything.
I don't know. I would rather.
I think he got tired of his privacy being messed up.
Okay.
I kind of don't want somebody to come back, not because he isn't great and all that. I just feel like the damage it would do to the Spider-Man community would be unfathomable to me.
Yeah.
So, I would rather Andrew come back because while it would damage people, it would still be. I honestly do want him to have this like good movie because he generally does love the character. So I do want him to have that one good one wrong with him, but
Gotcha.
Yeah,
but
that's our Venom 3 review. Fuck that movie. Fuck it. Fuck Sony. Fuck every future project they do. Fuck Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Spider-Verse people, you are a godsend. I don't know how you made a good movie with Sony as your leader, but you did it.
Oh yeah. Well, okay, audience. Thanks for sticking with us through our therapy session with this franchise. So yeah, we'll be seeing you all next time then, unless anybody has final words.
This is the first movie that's actually maybe legit mad. So I can think of.
Yeah, man. This might be the. I don't want to say it's the worst comic book film, but definitely one of 2 or 3 when it comes to top 3 worst comic book films.
It can be in the early 2000s,
Any
probably.
anyone I can think of, I'll watch before this.
Yeah.
Madam Web, Morbius, Catwoman, Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I might watch Elektra. Because I haven't seen Elektra in a long time. I might watch Elektra if I see this film again.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all right, guys. Oh, don't see this film. Make sure that even though it doesn't matter anymore, it's too late. You guys should have watched this film to begin with. But don't watch it. Don't support it. That's all I can recommend. There you go.
Out of that's it for the video audience. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.